Hi, hello, and good evening. This is Strat Chat, and we are back discussing a very eventful but also poor strategic week, poor entertainment week, featuring this new twist with this executive veto, which I gotta say, hated damn near every single minute. But let's get into it, I guess. I am Kyle Petty, and I'm joined, as always, by my festy besties, John Dunphy and Gina Morgino, and this is Strat Chat, and you can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. Um, how are we sounding now? We still chopping?
Right now it sounds okay.
All right, well,
You
good luck
sound
to
okay.
us.
Yeah, you look a little fuzzy, but you sound okay.
That's all right. I can look fuzzy because my face is not pleasant. This was a rough week as far as I'm concerned, and the Big Brother Canada house. We kicked things off on Sunday. We already knew that Elijah had won HOH thanks to our live HOH competition on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, right? Because damn them for switching the eviction night.
Yeah, I like never know what day it is anymore.
I'm so used to saying Thursday. What do we have from this episode? Kayla was PO'd because Tola had kind of thrown her name out there as being one of the people to campaign on behalf of Dennis, saying that she wanted to save him and wanted Elijah to go. That was the only social thing that I thought was noteworthy. I did think it was fun that Elijah, selected Tola and Todd to go up, and Todd did not know to go sit in the chair.
I know.
It's like you've been in
Todd
here
is
for how many
ridiculous.
eviction cycles?
Yes,
and I love how I love how Elijah was just like Todd, and then when he didn't move, just again went Todd. And I just in general love the way that Goose runs these little meetings. I think it's very funny. He
He's
gets
such a
so
goofy little
formal.
man.
Yeah. If there's one bright spot on the season right now for me, it's Goose. I just like him, and I think he's
so.
A nice
You
person.
liked this nomination ceremony?
Oh, I take it you
Well,
did not.
what do you mean by like? I just like Goose. That's really all I'm saying.
Well, you
Yeah.
said you like the way that he runs these meetings, so I just wanted
Because he's
to
goofy.
Just his mannerisms, the way he speaks, the way he's like very much like this nomination ceremony is completed. Like he's just very formal, and I enjoy Goose.
Too intense. I was I didn't know what to make of it. He the way he looked at the cameras. He's like, all right, just calm down.
He's a goose.
It's week 5, and it's almost still feels like week 4 because we didn't really do anything the first week. So just calm down. The people I'm nominating is Todd, and then he didn't get it. It's like, I said Todd, and it's like, all
He's
right,
being a silly goose.
Yeah, it's him. He's a
a
goose.
silly goose.
A silly goose.
It's like, goose, is that just what he is? Is this just what we do? So I don't know. I guess more to come. We'll find out. What other little notes do I have here? Elijah told Matt that Bailey voted his name, and so Elijah told Matt that Bailey had voted his name around. I actually liked his response to this. Matt seemed kind of cool about it. He's like, well, all right, fine. I get it. We're not really working that closely together. I said, okay, that's a nice, mature response. We don't really know you very well, Matthew, but okay, good on you. Matt and Lexus, they're really high on the idea that Bailey and Avery are the people that are corrupting Kayla's mind. Any thought on that comment? Corrupting?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember that comment actually.
Oh, I did do a little
honest.
rewatch. I was trying to be a really good citizen, and I made my notes for a show I'm not even enjoying. I have pages of notes, but there was that
It's truly,
comment.
again, this was another one of those weeks where it's like, I watched every episode, I paid attention. I feel like I couldn't tell you anything that happened. I'm just, this season is in one ear and out the other. I don't know why.
I don't know why it's like that. I feel the
I
same
think
way.
it feels like, I'm going to be honest, the returners have completely ruined this season. Completely. If you take Dougie out and Spicy V and you replace them with two newbies, this is a completely different season with this cast. And I feel like what happened when Anthony and Spicy V came in is that everybody's become so starstruck by them that they're just going to do whatever that they want them to do. So here, what we've had is just nobody thinking for themselves. It's just Dougie thinking, who's going to target me? How can I get people to take them out for me? And then, like, for Spicy V, she's just a mess. I don't know what the hell is even going on in her mind. So, like, no one's actually playing. They're just running around and doing whatever Dougie and Spicy V want. But the problem is that all we're getting from Dougie and Spicy V is complete fucking chaos. So, like, there's no continuity. Like, it feels like nobody has a conversation that you can then go be like, oh, what's this person going to do with this information? Because everything's just all over the fucking place. It's like, I don't understand. And Natalie, you're right, too. I think production has a lot to do with it, too. I feel like everything has just been a fucking mess. The whole season is chaos. There's no real strategy anywhere other than Dougie just being like, I'm going to make people do what I want. And everyone's just doing it. And Spicy V is the messiest person ever, but nobody's catching her in any of this mess that she's creating. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant.
I love it.
No, I'm like, girls, gays, and theys, welcome to a Dunphy petty style rant.
I watched Sunday's episode last night and Tuesday's episode last night, and I watched Wednesday's episode today.
And your stomach was upset.
And I watched it this morning when I woke up. It was how I started my day off. I said, I'm going to watch the eviction episode of Big Brother Canada 12 from this week. And the whole time I'm sitting there and I am saying these words to myself about how shitty this is and why I think this is happening. And I am not even joking you. From like 11 a.m. until this moment, I have been thinking about this and all of the things I wanted to say. So I'm sorry if I went on a little long.
No,
but my God.
Because honestly, I earlier
style,
today,
so I'm here for it.
I like had tweeted something similar earlier today because it's like, if there's one thing about this season, it's that it is solidifying for me that if I am to ever watch another season of these shows with returnees, it has to be a season of returnees, because I am so tired of a season of newbies with a person that has played before and they all just want to lay down and die because they either are fans of this person or they don't want to be the person that moved against a fan favorite. So it just ends up being like, anytime that there's, and we saw it this week too, if there's an advantage to be had or some kind of a power to be had, it just ends up in the hands of these returnees because nobody wants to be the one to make a move against them, because they're either afraid of the fan base being like, how dare you be the one to get rid of Spicy, or, you know, they like this person.
Yep. Totally agree. And we will certainly get into that twist this week because it totally let me down with the way it all turned out. Yeah, disgusted. Like truly, truly disgusted. Let's page one of notes. No, I agree with both of you. Conversation with Dougie, Lexus, and Matt. Oh, yeah. So so all right, so they were having a conversation. I don't even remember what they were talking about. It was Dougie, Lexus, and Matt discussing it was discussing like whether or not like Kayla is one to look out for, X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third. And it stopped because Kayla walked in the room. What is wrong with these people? Like, are y'all brand new? Especially Dougie. Like, you're supposed to be the returnee. Oh my gosh, mountains of the Himalayas. And it's like, what are you talking about? You act like you're so good at this, but you don't realize you shouldn't stop talking when somebody of your alleged alliance walks in. Just come up with anything.
Sus, yeah.
Just say, oh my gosh, I don't like Bisquick. You could say literally anything and just keep a conversation going so it doesn't look like you stopped because they came in. Right. That silence was so elongated, like y'all couldn't come up with nothing.
Yeah, that silence was loud.
Right. And
oh my God,
you know what's funny too? The way that you just presented that too actually made me think of something else, because Kayla walked in, the room goes silent. She's walking into a room of two fellow Hot Chocolate members and one other person, and the conversation just completely dies. Meanwhile, we saw how Kayla actually handled a similar situation and how to do it the right way when they were all out by the all outside at one point, maybe by the hot tub, and Kayla was talking about Matt. Matt walked up behind her. Spicy V gave her a little nod, and she started talking about something completely different, about how she was so pissed about being on slop. There was never a break in the conversation, and then it ended. Like we were shown through Kayla walking in the room the wrong way to do it, how she was treated, and then she showed us exactly how to execute it properly. Like, it's just
absolutely.
And Natalie said this too about Kayla, about loving Kayla. Kayla is by far my favorite person on the season.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
here's all I have left at this point. So
hands down. She is absolutely the best. She's the only one who seems to know exactly what this game is.
Yeah.
There's
only like 3 people that I could even say I remotely like in there. It's Kayla, Goose.
That's all I got. That's it.
That actually might be it. Yeah, that might be it.
No, I mean, okay. I mean, if we're gonna go that route, I mean, there are more people in this house that I like than I dislike. It's just that the people that I dislike, it's just so damn strong. It's so strong. So
I still like Bailey, actually. I still like Bailey.
Right. I still like Bailey. I think Bailey is really, really fun. She's good TV. She's playing the game, so I find her entertaining. I gotta say, I like Matthew. I don't really have a problem with him. He's not doing much, but
I have no opinion for or against. He's just kind of there for me. I
dislike him. And I'm very endeared towards Todd. I am.
The Mankini.
Yeah, like I like him.
Todd, I'm definitely more for than against, but he hasn't really won me over just yet.
I just like the way he speaks. Oh no, guys! It's like I just think you're precious. Like that's all. Like, yeah, like very cute, very sweet.
Todd, I will say,
I am a soft serves ice cream sundae.
Yeah,
I love that.
I will say, coming into the season, that I actually really didn't like Todd at all, and this week I started to turn around on him a little bit, but I still am not putting him in that column of like reasons I'm watching the season still.
Oh well, hold on. I didn't say I'm watching the season for Todd. I just said I'm enjoying it. Like, slow down. Exactly. Slow that one down. Slow that one down before you hit something.
Before you hit something.
So Kayla obviously miffed. She comes right out of that room and she goes right up to Elijah and she says, "Get in the room. We have to chat." And Elijah apparently said that Matt was concerned about the fact that she had used the veto on Bailey. And, you know, Kayla being pissed that she feels like the rest of the Hot Chocolate and Directors Alliance are basically doing the heavy lifting, and that Matt and Lex are really just spending all their time cuddling. That was a seed that I also feel like Spicy had planted, because Spicy had said that a few episodes ago, but it seems to be kind of like gaining some steam, obviously. A side note, not really important to the game, but it does seem that everybody's complaining about how often Matt and Lexus are together. And I did take note of the fact that when they tried to be private and be in the room alone, Avery took it upon herself to be in there and just awkwardly have a conversation. And I was like, enough. You say you can't stand it, and then they try to go away, and then you join them anyway. So what is that? Avery, be quiet.
Avery, be quiet.
What did you think of when they were all sitting outside and Lexus was sitting on Matt's lap and like Spicy V got up, like she was like, "Can I just sunbathe in peace?" Like people were so annoyed by Lexus and Matt being outside talking to each other.
Yeah, that read to me like jealousy. Because like they weren't saying anything. They weren't, at least not what the edit showed us, right? They were just sitting there. It looked like they were kissing a little bit, but like just leave. Like
they were
saying also
something.
Shouldn't have to hide it being really hot. Like that's not
right.
Sure.
I think they were being a little mushy. I think Matt said something like along the lines of like, see how you feel in the sunshine? That's how I feel when I'm around you. He did have like a line like that.
But like, I don't know. It's like I feel like I've seen worse out of showmances. You know?
Oh,
like,
sure.
Like I feel like this is relatively tame in comparison.
Listen,
yeah, pretty benign.
We've seen what a showmans can do with 10 seconds on a pool floaty. So
Don't remind me.
Is that Corey in America?
No. No.
10
Kyle
seconds.
and Alyssa
Kyle and
Snyder.
Alyssa.
Oh, I blocked that whole season out. Especially the two of them.
Yeah,
as far as I
that's
was concerned, they were never
totally
even in
fair.
it. Yeah,
That yes.
disgusting.
Yes.
If I can't remember this season, I'll be damned if I remember Kyle and Alyssa. Like, who? If they didn't have the same
Oh,
name as
man.
me, I would have no recollection whatsoever. There's not much to say about this other than the fact that, Kayla wanted to talk to Dougie and Spicy about the fact that her name was floating around. She was not too chuffed that Vivek came in as well. But she rolled with it, did exactly what they should have done when Kayla had walked in the room with Lexus, Matt, and Dougie. All right, so maybe the returnees should be taking some notes from the Lady Clennon. All right, there's that.
The Lady Clennon.
I did.
Kyle
I
has
loved
changed
her.
his last name for.
Yeah, I loved her moment in the confessional too, where she was like, "God damn it, we were all in the room, and then Vivek walked in, and I forgot we were working with him now." And I love her. I love
Like,
Kayla.
I guess I have to include him in this conversation. What can I do
Yeah.
now? Yeah, no, she's fun. I like her a lot. Now, the next note I have is that, Kayla feels she's done a lot to protect and support Dougie in his game. I'm not sure that I've seen that, though. I'm not a Dougie fan. All right. I'd love to see him go. But, I do feel like this was a little bit of a claim that actually hasn't been proven unless there's been something in the dallies.
Right. We'd have to think
Can't
back.
help you
I mean,
there.
I know. Yeah, because I don't remember all the context around some of these evictions now. Like, I know that, like, Donna maybe was somebody that Kayla maybe wouldn't have wanted to get out because she was part of the Girls Alliance. So maybe that was someone that she, like, was willing to cut for Dougie. But again, I don't remember all the context. I'm just trying to think of, like,
Right.
I know Janine, the girls were definitely pissed about Janine leaving, I think, in week 1. So, like, and then I guess I'm trying to remember the circumstances around Dennis and Dennis's eviction, because there were a couple people trying to flip that vote, right? Or that wanted to anyway.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that any of that was really in support or in defense of Dougie.
Right.
Yeah, but I feel like every person that's gone home has been who he wanted. And at least he feels like he's been the one responsible. Like, he was the one that got Dennis on the block in the first place. I don't think Vivek ever would have put him up if it wasn't for
Does
Dougie.
everyone know that, though? Like, is that widely known amongst everybody else?
Which thing there?
That he was behind Dennis.
I don't think so. And I think that was totally intentional. It was that, like, I want to find a way to get this person up without having to do it myself,
Yeah.
without anybody being able to blame me for it. But Kayla would have intimate knowledge of that. Like, Kayla is one of the only people, because Kayla and Spicy V and Dougie were kind of the ones that put this plan together to convince Vivek to put Dennis up, even though it was against his best interests, obviously. Like, Kayla had to go. Remember that whole meeting they had where, like, Dougie and Spicy V were like, Kayla, go up to the HOH room and tell him this. And she was like, I don't know if I can do this by myself. So they all went up together. So I'm sure even like in that situation alone, like, she has been more, she has been someone that's done more for Dougie's game than anyone else.
That's sure. Yeah.
Yeah. At least for that, at least for the Dennis move.
Well, that certainly adds a lot of steam to the reason I was very turned off to Dougie's confessional. And he's like, oh, Kayla, what else do you need? What else can I do for you?
Yeah.
Do you want me to make you waffles and clip your toes?
Yeah, I hated that.
It's like, are you kidding me? Oh my God, it's making me not at all anymore.
Yeah.
Oh God. I see them down to 1 bar. Are we still hanging in here?
I still hear you fine.
Yeah, audio's still
like
good.
Choppy here and there, but not like it was before.
All right, we'll just keep rocking on then. Amidst all this mess, though, we did get a sponsored veto. So thank you to the fine people at Tony. Purple was the dominating color of the evening, which also exciting to me because that's favorite color. Our players had 3 games. They had to decide how quickly they can complete the game. Whoever had the fastest bid gets to give it a go. If you do not succeed, you're out of here. If you do, you get to decide who is eliminated without a chance of winning, said Veto. And the last two people remaining get to play head to head, and then we see what's going on. The first person to win the bid was Bailey. She played mini golf. The first question I have, though, do you think that the other people, like the people who are not playing this veto, got to see what times they were bidding?
I don't think so.
Okay.
From what it looked like.
I would hope not, because Ducky constantly maxed out at 10 minutes for every single one of these. And like, you're making it very, very clear that you don't want to win this.
Right.
And that would be a red flag to me.
Right.
Like,
well, I don't know if
you're clearly trying to not show your cards.
Right. Yeah. Well, I when I was making what I said there, I was thinking that they couldn't see it. I was really just talking about the other players that were competing too. But to your point, I'm not sure about the spectators.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I'm not sure about. Is if like once you're
that's
out.
what I was thinking. Yeah, I would love to know what they could see, and it was so hard to be able to tell because you've got those you got the walls up, and the way that everything is angled, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
But I think constantly maxing out and showing all these spectators that you don't have any intention to win this is a little questionable.
But at the same time, I feel like for anyone other than Spicy or Dougie, it would have been questionable. Like I feel like if they did it, it's like, oh, fine. Like if Matthew did it, it would have been
right.
Like,
it's like no one's gonna care that Anthony does it because he must have a reason that's gonna help all of us.
Right, which also just plays into everything that Gina said before. It's like why we just hate when returnees come to this game.
I love returnees, but put them in a season of other returnees, not in a season of newbies.
Right, but have we ever had that other than a crappy All-Stars?
Right, yeah.
Like the only exception to that, I guess, would be BB14 when they played as coaches.
Right?
Yeah, at least then you brought them in, and you brought them in a different capacity before you actually put them in the game.
Right.
So your whole mentality is different as you maneuvered through what you thought the game was. Coming in like this, I mean, we're getting another Paul.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
It's not fun.
You know what's funny too is like because the way that they started this with the two returnees coming in, and it was like they're safe and all the newbies are going to compete to be in their entourage. It's almost like if they had kept that going for a couple more weeks and maybe even framed it the same way that BB14 did. Like these are coaches. If they get to a certain point, maybe they can enter the game. But like I feel like they still could have tweaked it to make it better. But the way that this has all unfolded has just been terrible.
Tragic. Just tragic. Bailey put in her first bid for mini golf. She won it. And she did decide to eliminate Tola. Not a huge shock. Lexus won the next bid and she played her little pickleball thing. She eliminated Todd. All things that kind of make sense to me. The ladies are winning. You're now knocking out the two people that are actually on the block. So that all made some good sense to me. Bailey eliminated Dougie, which finally somebody did something to this.
I
know. That was after she played that little darts game. We had to add everything up to 60.
Which good on Bailey killed this. I know she ended up not winning the whole thing, but Bailey did great in this. I really want
people should be scared of Bailey because she wins things and she wins things often. So yeah, you should be concerned.
Great in this competition.
Yeah, she really did. And then they played that little hockey game. Whoever got all of their pucks on the opponent's side first wins. Bailey did not do so great here. She had a lot of troubles. And Lexus she creamed her. So Lexus won the veto. Thank you to Tony Bet, which means she also wins $5,000 on their dime. So that's exciting. So congratulations to the lady Lexus. Let's see. Elijah told Lexus that he had a conversation with Spicy and Avery, but how Spicy thinks, that the showmance needs to come to an end. All right. Can we just talk about how bad of an actress that Spicy is? Like, she thinks she is like, honestly, she thinks she's like Oscar award winning with her. And all of her heavy breathing. Right? Does she breathe very heavy? And it's like, I'm so sick of listening to this woman breathe and pants all over the place.
She cries in any situation, no matter what the
Oh my
emotion
gosh,
is.
she is such an irritant. I can't
I
stand
really,
her.
I want her to go so bad. I just like, she's becoming one of those people that when I see her on my screen, I'm automatically in a bad mood. Like she hasn't even
Yes.
done anything yet, and I'm like, nah, you know?
Yeah, she's running into
it.
every room, just like, oh, I have a right to be here. And it's like, I'm like, get out, get out. And she's always like, what should we do? What should we do? And it's like, oh, you're just trying to get information out of me. I'm like, why are you all not seeing this? I didn't even watch season 9. And I know this is not a woman to be trusted. Like, what about her makes you think you should be telling her your business?
You know what?
It's so hard to watch.
You know what else pissed me off so much in this week? After the have-not competition. By the way, I was so excited to see that Spicy V and Dougie were both on the same team and lost and should have been both have-nots until, of course, Dougie gets saved from being a have-not. But what pissed me off so much was after this have-not competition, Spicy V was such a sore loser about having to be a have-not and going on slop, to the point where she was saying to Dougie, like freaking out about how she was so annoyed and irritated by everyone in the house. And I'm like, you are the most annoying and irritating person here. You are constantly causing the chaos that's riling everybody up and making them go all crazy. That then in turn causes them to annoy and irritate you. like this is your doing. But what I also, as a returner, to be such a sore loser, weeks now, people have been on slop. Like, you're a returner, you know how the game works. Like, now you're gonna act like this and say you're so annoyed and irritated with everybody when everyone's running around doing whatever you want. Like, it's so annoying.
It's the worst. Oh God. I wrote a note that says Todd has information. I don't know what that is.
That's the whole note.
That is literally the bullet point. I don't even know what.
Todd has information.
And information in quotes. So I don't know what that means. I just said, Matt, everyone stop telling Spicy everything. We already covered that.
There was, I don't know. I was trying to think of the Todd thing, but I think we already talked about it, actually. The thing that I was thinking about.
I don't like that. There was a conversation, though, that did involve Spicy that I actually did like. It was Spicy, Kaylin, Avery, and Bailey. Having this conversation with Todd saying, listen, if you want to stay this week, you've got to have some conversations. Like, what votes can you get? We're not enough. You go out and do it. And it's like, I did at least enjoy that. That was the first time that I heard people being that blunt, saying, go out and get your own votes and you come back to us. Mm-hmm. That's actually the way that should be handled. It's not my responsibility to go rally up the vote. And that's what we
you want to stay, you campaign and you figure it out.
Exactly. We usually see an entire group of people trying to rally to get the votes to save their one person. This was a group of people saying, hey, we're down. You just figure it out and you let us know. It's like, oh, you know what? That's very transactional. Kind of down with that.
Because honestly, too, it's like, are you a good player or are you just well insulated?
Right. And this would prove to me if you are a good player, and then ipso facto, worth saving.
Yeah, beneficial to me.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, I can't even read my own handwriting. So I don't know what that is. There was a conversation between Avery and Spicy as well, because I don't know why she was mad, but Spicy was saying that I'm sending Elijah home next week. But I don't know why she said that.
Oh, I think this was because there was something. Yeah, now I'm blanking on it too. But somebody had a conversation that Goose had. I think Spicy V kind of laid it out like Goose was trying to pin something on her. I know it was specifically like conversations that people were having. Goose found information. This might have been even what Todd was trying to say to Goose. And then Goose was like, oh, but Spicy V was the one that came up with this plan. And I wish that somebody in the comments, maybe Natalie or something, can tell us what this was about. Because I know it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. I just saw Avery and Spicy. Spicy just saying, I'm sending Elijah home. And that was just annoying to me because it's like, I don't know why you're so confident that Elijah will even be up
I know
for the
what it was.
possibility of going home.
I know what it was. There
Tell us.
were accusations being thrown around that there was an effort to flip votes to save Dennis. People started to find out about this, were questioning things. Goose said, but Spicy V is the one that said we should flip the vote to save Dennis. And then once Dougie, I think it was Dougie, told Spicy V that this was being spread around, she was like, I'm getting Goose out, because she was now pissed that something was being pinned on her, even
This
though
does
like
sound familiar, yeah.
I think she was actually doing that. And Goose was
Mhm.
literally just being like, I'm being accused of something, and so I'm gonna say who actually was doing it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Annoying. I wrote Goose and Dougie chat hate. I don't know what that means.
Your notes are crazy.
You're writing them down so quick as you're like watching it. I'm like, I don't even
Goose
know what that
and
means.
Dougie
Goose
chat
and Dougie chat
hate.
hate. I don't know what that means.
They
But-
had a conversation in the HOH room at one point where Goose was very pissed off, saying that he had been like played, and I guess felt like he had done something against Anthony, and Anthony was like, oh, don't worry, man. Like they were very like buddy in the HOH room. So it was just like another example of like somebody sucking up. Well, not really sucking up. I feel like Goose genuinely thought that he did something like bad to Anthony. Meanwhile, he's just playing the game like he's supposed to. So
get out of here. Annoying as hell. Now,
it's really bad that I only know like half the context for all of these things. I'm like, something was said.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's something about this season that you just can't retain anything. I don't
think
know
it's
what
because
it
I just
is.
hate the people that we're dealing with. I don't like Dougie. I don't like Spicy.
But even on seasons where I don't like the cast, I'm still like, and this person did this thing that pissed me off, and that person did that thing that pissed me off. Here, I'm like, I will watch all 3 episodes and then be like, what happened this week? I just can't retain any of these conversations.
It's just too chaotic, and like
there's a lot of weird things that are going on here, and it also even goes down to this twist. Let's get to this twist.
Oh God.
Because we had this. So Lexus didn't use the veto. Let's just get that. Let's get there. Lexus did not use the veto, leaving Todd and Tola on the block as Elijah decreed. But then we kind of saw in the next on that like it looked like this executive veto was going to start to become a thing. And last night's episode opened with Tola literally running down the steps with his toothbrush in his mouth at what 8:33 a.m. to go look for like what's going on with this. And it's like I just hate the fact that I don't even know what prompted you to go look. You clearly could not even wait to finish brushing your teeth before you ran down there to go see what was going on.
Right.
So,
Was this like, Tola, please go downstairs and
right.
whatever?
You
Like,
were clearly tipped off to something. There was something that spurred you to do that, because who does that if you're just brushing your teeth? Let me go directly
I need
to
to look at this
room.
right now. Yeah.
Right. It's not like I was just like gallivanting around the house. I'm just kind of walking
Happened to
around
walk
brushing.
in. Yeah.
Let me just see if I see anything that's different. This is a very direct run to that specific room.
Yeah.
I'll call it the billiard room because there's a pool table in there. But like,
Sure.
I don't think Gus there, and I hate that I don't know,
Yeah.
because that leads me to believe that production interfered.
Shenanigans. Yeah.
Yes, and I don't like the way that feels. It stinks of corruption.
it's like they were just gonna, whoever was the first person to wake up that day, they were gonna say, go run into this room.
Yeah, but
in there.
everyone seemed to know, though. Everyone got up and went to the right place. Wait, what's going on? What's going on? It's like, why do you think anything's going on in here? All we do in here is read books and play pool. Y'all not in the kitchen? What's going on? Where's the coffee? Nobody's making waffles. Where's the Nika? You're like, what's going on?
Where's
Like,
Nika?
like, I don't know.
Sorry,
It
girl.
just
Sorry, girl.
seems so shysty to me.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, like I hated it. So we didn't even know where the executive veto went. We knew nothing about that. And I suppose it doesn't really matter because that's not really how it was available. It just didn't feel right. So then we see the whole thing play out. And we got to see the safety chain, but in reverse. And any other season, this would have been legendary.
Right.
And I feel like we've really missed an opportunity for something fantastic because you had these 2 returnees in here that no one was ever going to select. So the way this works, so a safety chain generally is, this person is safe, usually obviously the HOH because obviously they earned it. And then you say, who else do you now want to be safe? Now leaving 2 people that are not. And that usually becomes now your nominees for eviction. That isn't how the chain of rejection works. Everyone now knows that this executive veto is in play. It is at the center of this executive boardroom table that they set up clear in the middle of the house. And now you're selecting the person that you do not want to receive the power of the executive veto. Which I thought was a really fun twist.
It had
because you're
so much
forcing
potential.
Yes, you're forcing every single person to show at least a card.
Card.
So I thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
Elijah being the line leader, because he was HOH, he selected Tola to not receive that power. As a result, if you have now been selected to not get the power, you get to now nominate the next person in typical chain fashion. So Tola selected Bailey, not a shock. Bailey selected Vivek, not a shock, right? Especially with all the dramas that we've had over the weeks prior. Vivek selected Todd. Again, not super surprising. Of course, you want to select the people that are currently on the block to make sure maybe you don't get there. Todd selected Lexus. Now, this decision I thought was rather interesting, because Lexus selected Matt to not receive the power, and that was for showmance. And I thought that was a very smart move on her part. It jarred me when I saw it. But then later on, when people are now deliberating about how this executive veto should be used, it did come up with the girls like, thank you for being respectful and respecting the fact that we have this thing going on. Thank you for selecting Matt.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was a little shaken by it too, though. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, he is somebody that I think anyone could agree wouldn't have been in danger should it be used. So I think it was a really safe moment, like a safe time to be like, I know you're not going anywhere. Let me just throw them a bone.
I can gain some trust over here.
Yeah.
Right. It was a good move.
Yeah.
It was a really good
I do
move.
think I totally agree. And I think not using the veto earlier by Lexus too was also a very good move, because I think that she has been feeling the heat. And I listen, the Lexus match showmance, it is what it is, whatever. Showmances or whatever. I don't care. But it is definitely true that both the girls, what's left of the girls alliance now that both Janine and Donna have left, and then Hot Chocolate have all been pretty vocal about not liking how Lexus has been navigating the game and hanging out so much with Matt. So while I think some of it is overblown, I can understand why some of her alliance members are feeling this way. And I feel like these 2 moves were very, very good in helping to repair some of that. You saw the girls come up after she chose Matt, and they specifically said to her that was really respectful. Thank you so much for doing that. So I feel like that was definitely good. Maybe this can turn Lexus's game around, because it's not good when anybody has your name in their mouths, but especially when your own alliances, because members of both people in Hot Chocolate have been throwing her name out. I think Bailey's thrown her name out. People in both alliances of Lexus have said her name and have had their her on their radar. So
So Matt selected Kayla. Fine. Kayla, which felt shocking in the immediate moment, but when you realize how many people are not left, didn't mean much to me. But Kayla selected Dougie, which I was at least pleased that she didn't select Avery in this moment. At least you kind of went a little bit against, but I mean, it was slim pickings at that point, you know? But Kayla selected Dougie. I know, find time to take yourself off mute.
No, he literally, I think he thought he was muting himself, but he unmuted for that moment and then remuted.
I'm not even kidding you. I literally just muted, and then it didn't press it again, and it unmuted, and I was already mid-burp. So
and literally,
there you go, everybody.
Unmuted it in that moment and then remuted it.
I pressed the button once and I burped, and then there was no mute there, and I saw Gina's reaction, and I said, 140 something people just heard me burp.
But
So
no,
there
it's
you go.
because because
There you
we
go,
can
everybody.
we can see the little icons that they can't see. I literally saw the mute, unmute, and then remute.
And then
I was like,
and
you think
a
you're funny.
burp in between. So this is gonna be a clip, isn't it? God damn it.
It is
You're,
now.
you're welcome all.
Oh my god.
So once we got to the end of this chain, Dougie selected Avery, and that now meant that Spicy won the veto. And this is where the theatrics were really in full swing, and I was really disgusted. Now this is where all of Spicy's heavy breathing comes into play. Her big eyes and her mouth ajar, and I can't stand it. What do I do? What do I do? What do you think I should do? And it's like, can you just like turn that down? She's always out of breath. I just can't stand her. My God.
Oh man.
The executive veto is fun because whoever is now selected to come down off the block, they now get to select who their replacement would be. I do feel like we've seen this in America, though. Isn't this kind of how the diamond power veto worked?
I don't remember. For some reason, I thought that the person, my guess was that the person that held the executive power veto would be able to name the replacement rather than the HOH. So I was a little surprised that the person that was removed got to name their replacement.
Again, though,
I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember how the diamond power veto worked. If it was just you had the power to veto 2 people, but you couldn't nominate anybody, or
I really don't remember.
I don't remember either. All right. Well, we tried. Spicy had told Ducky that she really wanted to put Tola up with the intention of getting Vivek up there. To which Ducky said, no way. No. I love Tola. That's my guy, and he's a shield, so absolutely not. However, Bailey also didn't want that because Bailey was convinced that Tola would say her name.
Which I think would have happened.
I think it would have happened too. I think one of my next note is really this is where I think Spicy just thinks she's so damn smart, and she's just not as good at this game as she thinks she is. And it's very clear. I mean, we didn't watch season 9, but it's kind of clear to me why you went out before jury or right as jury began. I forget exactly how that Wikipedia thing laid that thing out. But Spicy went on a lot sooner than social media would let you believe, based on the fandom that she has behind her. And Spicy asking Arissa whether or not she has to use it is something she should not have done. Because it was already floated out there. I think it was Todd that had said it. He's saying, listen, she doesn't. Oh no, I think Matt said it. I think it was Matt. Matt saying she doesn't have to use it. Why are we going through all this? You could just let it go.
Oh no, I think it was after the fact. He was she didn't have to.
Yeah, but there was a question even during the deliberation when people were chatting about it. I feel like there was some conversation that where that came up beforehand, and it's so people were already discussing it, and if you're going to ask Arissa right in front of everyone, and once Arissa says no, I almost feel like you should have just not.
Right, because Nat, she says no. You're clearly showing that you're apprehensive about using it. She says you don't have to, and then you screw somebody anyway.
And you do it anyway. It shows that you just have a different agenda. Yeah. And it's just another reason not to trust this woman. And it's I don't get it. She did take Todd down, which once again almost demonstrates just to me that Ducky is kind of running things, because Ducky said, no, I don't want you to put Tola up. And then she didn't. I don't want you. I want Tola to come down. Rather, that's what I wanted. I wanted Tola to come down, and she's like, nah, no, I'm gonna do Todd anyway. And it's well, I guess that kind of disproves everything I just said. So I guess fuck that.
I think it just shows though too that I know Spicy V didn't do what Dougie wanted here in this case. But it really just shows too that even Spicy V is just playing Dougie's game. The
Yeah.
amount, like, she's a fellow returnee. Like
Well,
you're,
from the
she did
first
do what
fellow,
Dougie
episode,
said,
like,
though. She did do what Dougie said.
no, I think who did he take down?
She took down Todd.
But she wanted him to take down Tola. He wanted her to take down Tola, I mean.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
That's not how I remembered it. I
No,
think
because
that he had said that I want Tola to stay up. I want
No,
Tola to come
no.
down, rather. No, I want Tola to come down because Tola is my guy and he's a shield.
Right.
But she took
And
down
she didn't
Todd
do that.
instead.
Right.
So she didn't do what he wanted.
Right, but I mean, like, with the amount of like talk that needed to be done before this, like Spicy V can't just go to Dougie and be like, I want to make this move. This is what's best for me. This is what we see Dougie do constantly. Just whatever's best for him. The amount of like fighting that Spicy V had to do to even like get this, I feel like was ridiculous to me. The fact that Dougie couldn't be like, all right, this is your move, you make this move. Like the fact that a back and forth was even needed makes me feel like Spicy V is even below Anthony in the pecking order.
I
know
feel
what I
like
mean?
even from the first episode, I remember her having a confessional being like, oh, I'm so great. Like, I get to work with Dougie, blah, 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 blah. And then I remember him having a confessional being like, I'm going to get her to do what I want to do and get her to like, blah, blah, blah. So like, even from the very, very beginning, she was like, I can't wait to work alongside this person, like in tandem. And he was like, I can't wait to use her influence to benefit myself.
Right.
You know, like, I feel like that's always the way it's gone.
So I don't know. I'm just tired of it. I'm so tired of the domination. I'm dying for somebody to be like brave enough to make a move to try to get Dougie out or something.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like it's going to be infinitely harder now that Dennis is gone. Like,
right.
Who else is going to step to the plate now?
It's so frustrating. And like, yeah, they do both. Like, I want them both out, but it is more beneficial to the season, I think, for him to go because he, you know, as we were just saying, I feel like he is definitely running the show more so than she is. Where like, she may have a lot of influence, but she doesn't really know what she's doing. Where like, even if she has a lot of influence, like her at least being in power is going to be like, there's more of a possibility for things to blow up in her face and kind of to her detriment than for him, I feel like.
Right. And I feel like if he's gone, people can actually start playing the game a little bit. Like right now, the only way that anybody can make a move and feel like it's actually their move is if it just happens to be the exact thing that Dougie wants to happen.
Right, yeah.
Because then he won't fight it or push back on it or try to influence you in any way. Like it's just very annoying. And I would have loved to see how the game changed. I mean, like, going back to the whole Dougie, like, kind of controlling Spicy V too. Even the fact that Spicy was interested in a girls' alliance and the first two people that left were girls. Like, it's just, you know, like
boring.
the only person that's really getting their way in there is Dougie. And I need somebody to knock him off his high horse.
It's
and if
so
maybe
boring
Dennis could have done
watch.
that.
Yeah, he could have.
If Vivek wasn't such an idiot.
Yeah. Stupid Vivek.
The only thing here, though, is that people are starting to compare notes. I feel like people are kind of discussing Dougie and his influence, Spicy and her influence, and people are starting to kind of pick up on the fact that they kind of seem to be playing the middle a bit, kind of playing both sides, and I think that House of Cards is going to come crashing down soon. So. I don't think it's next week. It may not be the week after, but it is coming. I don't see, because we're not dealing with idiots. There was a whole thing with Kayla that we didn't mention here, but like Kayla was going on about how she doesn't feel like she's getting the support that she deserves from Dougie. And it's like that is how this kind of a thing kind of like really starts. Because people are starting to pick up on things. Because they haven't been making the best decisions in terms of people trying to play both sides. And now Natalie was telling us that Avery won HOH, which is actually vomit-inducing. Like, I'm not.
Wow. See, you really dislike Avery a lot more than I do. I still
I think she sucks.
She's not one of my favorites, but I mean, it sucks to not have somebody that you're rooting for, at least one person on your own team. And I said before that my 3 favorites were Kayla, Goose, and Bailey. So if I had to choose one person for my team, I find Avery to be the least annoying to me personally. So she's still in my top 4.
Well,
Really?
saying that she's the least annoying person on your team is very different than saying you like her.
Well,
That is actually, it's not really a glowing endorsement.
No, absolutely. I completely agree. I'm just saying that, like, I still put Avery up there.
That's funny.
For
well, let's
now.
review the team. Your one has gone unscathed, right? It is interesting that the only showmance we have in the house is on your team.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I
Avery
like that or not.
Was your number one selection. Well, listen,
No.
I don't. Lexus and Matt, I like them. I don't know what everybody's problem is. Like, just leave them alone.
Yeah, they're okay. I don't, because of the way that people in the house are looking at them. I'm not sure if I love that I have both members of the showmance on my team. That's all.
Right. But as individuals, I like them both. I think Lexus has really shown that. I think she's got some social skills and she's winning comps, so I like her. Matt
I have no aversion to either of them.
Yeah, Matt doesn't seem to be directly on anyone's radar. I'm kind of digging him. Avery's been annoying with not much that I can say is redeeming. I think I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I wouldn't trust this woman with the way that she cries at the drop of a dime, the way she carries herself. I don't know. Like, she just really.
I still like her though.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good. Someone should.
Someone should.
And I gotta say, Tola doesn't bother me. I don't see what the problem is, other than maybe people are threatened by him. But like, he hasn't done anything that really irritates me.
I have one thing about Tola that I do want to say, because I generally have liked Tola, I will say, for the most part. But there was one thing that really bothered me. And this was when Goose was letting Todd and Tola know ahead of time that he was going to be nominating them. Okay. You are, so Tola, you are in the HOH room and you are speaking to an HOH who was just put on the block as a pawn 2 weeks in a row. And Goose is now telling Tola that, listen, I have this plan. You are not my target. I want this other person out. And Tola immediately starts going on and on about how this makes him so uncomfortable and he doesn't like this and I don't want to do this and blah, 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 to the point where he leaves the room. Later, he comes back and says, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this. And it's like, all right, well, suck it up, because I was just on the block 2 weeks in a row for seemingly no reason. I was sitting next to someone who's not in the Directors Alliance, but someone else, Kayla, who's in the Directors Alliance, took that person off the block instead of me. So you know what? Shut up, Tola. Go sit on the block. You're fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I'm still here, and that kind of bothered me. Like the way Tola kept going on and on about how like he had to go on the block for once, and it's like, dude, we've had 3 evictions and I've been sitting up there for 2 of them. Okay, so give me a break.
Okay. I mean, all opinions are fair, but I feel that one. I get it. Okay. Sorry, Tola. Sorry. Many lamentations to you, sir.
Lamentations.
Team Petty is up next. I'm not doing terrible. I mean, I lost my line leader. But I do have everybody else here. Bailey's left. Elijah just ended his HOH reign, and Todd, who does seem to be in a pretty good position. Doesn't look like anybody's really looking at him. I'm doing okay. Limping around the Big Brother Canada team, Morgina. Only one left. Only one left. Lady Kayla.
What pisses me off so much about this is that I wasn't even on the block this week. I was smooth sailing, mama. I was doing great. And then
you weren't on the block and you lost your winner pick.
The stupid executive veto comes in and screws me. I was fine this week. I was fine.
What did you think?
Your BB Can 12 team is like Mikey's Survivor 46 team right now.
But I mean, like at the
Or
very
like your
least,
Australian Survivor team.
Or like my Australian. Actually, my Australian Survivor team is going to go down as like the worst, I think, drafted team ever. If we're being honest here.
it's just like
Made
at
jury.
the very least, I'm glad that the person I am left with is Kayla. Like if I had to
Right.
hitch my wagon to anybody on my team,
It's gonna
all
be
you
her.
need is one. Maybe she can buy me some time. But wow, did I get decimated by these Canadians? Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Just get to jury. Just get to jury.
Just
Honestly,
literally
I
like
gotta-
clawing my way there.
At this point in the season, like we drafted all these people randomly. At this point in the season, if you told me you can pick one person from this cast that's going to be that you're riding for the whole season, it would absolutely be Kayla for me.
Well, good.
So, like,
she's all I have.
So right, but that's what I mean. Like it's, I know it's been rough that you've lost 3 of 4, but like to have Kayla as your one that's left, I think you're
Kayla
still,
girl, I need
yeah.
you now more than ever.
I think you're in good. Definitely make jury. You definitely make
Let's not
jury.
speak in definites. I'm gonna get really disappointed really fast.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to me.
Ugh, God, decimated.
To come off mute. Did anybody have any thoughts regarding the public vote? I actually was rather excited by this until I realized what was going on. Like this
Right.
later in the game, maybe.
Just later in the game, I just think that if it were any other circumstances, it would have been more
Right.
fun. Like this was a clear house target. If it were any other week, any other people, any other anything, I think it would have been a lot more fun.
Right. And I feel so bad for Vivek going out with no bags, no audience response. Like that sucks. Like if my Big Brother experience was ending, like I want to come out to a cheering audience, I want to be able to go like this,
Yeah.
yay me. And he was robbed of all of that. So I think that's
right. I will say I was annoyed by Vivek for most of his time on the show.
Damn.
And I do think he was an idiot, which is why I called him an idiot earlier today with his move on Dennis. But I will say that I really did feel for him with how he left, because he made that. God, this is such a hard game. It is. Let's be honest. I would love to play it. I'd probably be terrible at it. But like, so, some people are just naturally better at it than others with the lying and everything like that and the strategy. And I feel like he made what he thought was the best move, what he thought was going to set him up with an alliance that might give him some safety for future weeks. And I felt so bad for him when he was in that room with Kayla, Spicy V, and Dougie. And he was like, I made that move for you guys, especially after what Todd said, like, oh yeah, you turn your back on your best friend. You could do that to any one of us. But like seeing him in that room with the 3 of them, Vivek being like, this is why I made this move, was so that you guys could have my back. Like I did this for you. Like, can you help me now? And I did. I really felt for him.
I felt for him too, but it's like, what else do you expect them to think? Like from everyone else's perspective, you turned on your number one, and now you're trying to like save your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vivek also makes his face, like when he looks like he's about to cry or anything, that is absolutely heartbreaking. Like the way that he looks around,
I know.
It's like, oh my gosh, my cream.
It's like, no, please.
Like,
I'm so sorry.
Please don't cry. It's just a game.
I'll be okay.
Yeah.
He seems like a genuinely nice guy. He really does. And
too nice for this game.
I definitely was rough on him during his time in the show. But listen, he was not good at the game. So goodbye, Vivek.
I guess only lamentations from Kyle and Gina.
I am interested in this because Natalie had asked, I don't know if either of you had seen it, but apparently Janine, Donna, and Dennis had some kind of a public reaction to his eviction. I don't know if it was like a live situation, but
I saw that Dennis was live. I did also like some tea talking about like this week's evictee. So I don't really know exactly. I don't know any of the context around it. So if you can enlighten us, please do.
I would like to see it.
Yeah, I'd like to know more.
Certainly a reason to slide in our DMs at Strat Chat Pod on the IG. Right?
Ooh.
We've ever spoken to you directly, Natalie. So come say hello and send things. Who wants to know if we saw Vivek's interviews? No, most certainly not.
I did not.
Did not. Sorry. Just trying to keep up
Yeah,
with the show and
I
working
know.
30 plus an hour job.
Well, you know what? It's funny. It really depends on the show, because if this season was going differently, I would be caught up on all of this stuff. But
That is also fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
poor Vivek.
Poor guy. I think that's all I have. I mean, obviously, Natalie had shared that Avery won HOH. We'll kind of see how that one plays out. I feel like we're in for another rough week if that's the case.
Yeah,
See that many of Avery's confessionals, but it could also be interesting to see if she's playing this game for her or if she's playing for Spicy and Dougie.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this is going to be a hot chocolate. I think it's going to be a hot chocolate HOH. And because Spicy V and Dougie are the leaders of hot chocolate, what's going to happen this week is exactly what the two of them decide they want to happen.
Yeah, she seems very like for both of them, but specifically Spicy. She seems very in her pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, when on premiere night, when everybody was like, so if there are returnees, we're getting them out first, right? Avery was one of the first people to be like, yeah, we're getting them out. So
that lasted all of 44 seconds.
Yeah.
But all right. So that's week 5 in the Big Brother Canada house. What does Strat Chat have next? We've got Survivor 46 on Monday the 8th at 9 p.m. discussing this week's eliminated tribe mates. And then we have a schedule shift coming up. Bong, bong, bong. Changes are coming. Next Thursday, things are going to be a little bit different because we have the Challenge All-Stars 4 premiering on the Paramount Plus. So we are going back to the Challenge universe. So Thursday at 8 p.m., we got Challenge All-Stars 4, and we are pushing our Big Brother Canada 12 recap back 30 minutes to 9:30. Period. So that's what's happening. Survivor 46 Monday at 9, Challenge All-Stars 4 premiere Thursday at 8, and then Big Brother Canada at 9:30.
All right. Yeah.
Anything else for the benefit of the community?
I think that's all I got.
Let's go, Kayla. That's it.
Yes, please. Let's go, Kayla. Please.
Yeah, really bad. You can find us in the socials at Strat Chat Pod, and come and hang out next week. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. As John likes to say, leave a review. Apparently it helps us. I don't know anything about the algorithm.
Lido.
The adults are talking, John.
John didn't do it. John didn't do it.